Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another video of Be the Best DFS Daily Fantasy Sports Talk. My name is Bradford Best, and I'm going to be going over the FanDuel slate for tonight, August 4th, 2016. I'm going to start off this video by just talking about last night. It was a horrible night for me. I only put up 71 fantasy points. My pitcher, Steven Matz of the Mets, he did horrible. David Ortiz didn't do anything. Robinson Cano didn't do anything. Um, the Braves stack that I used last night wasn't enough. As I looked at the top of the standings, it seems as if you didn't have that Tampa Bay stack or the Colorado Rockies or the Minnesota Twins, Cleveland Indians, you probably really wasn't winning anything. That's where a lot of the runs were scored across the league last night. But I'm going to move on to today's slate and just talk about, how I feel about, the lineups for tonight's matchups. Okay, starting off at the pitcher position, it's looking kind of ugly tonight. There are not really too many top pitchers on here. The top two pitchers I see is Pomeranz for the Boston Red Sox and J.A. Happ for the Toronto Blue Jays. After that, there's not too many names that seem appealing to me. I think if with pitcher you have to be real smart because it's risky. And in my opinion, you just have to choose between Pomeranz and J.A. Happ. And they're both on the road. But for me, I like Pomeranz at 9,600 for the Boston Red Sox. The reason I feel a little more confident in him is because I believe that Boston is in better position to get the win, being that Seattle's throwing a rookie pitcher out there who's making his first major league start. Hopefully Boston can score some runs and, they can get the win and Pomeranz can have the easy night. J.A. Happ, he could also have a good game because Houston's offense, they have really been struggling. But, Houston is a good team that has home run power. And then also when you look at the ballparks, Minute Maid Park is more favorable to hitting compared to Safeco Field in Seattle. So really, I'm not confident about any pitchers on the slate tonight. But, for me, the best tournament play would be Drew Pomeranz, for the Boston Red Sox. Other than those two guys, I guess my third option would be Fears for the Houston Astros, because sometimes Toronto's offense tend to struggle. But, pitcher is just ugly tonight. So, if you have any ideas, let me know in the group or comment on this video. But I like Drew Pomeranz tonight for a tournament play. Moving on. For the lineup tonight, of course, for the rest of the positions, I think we learned from last night. You probably want to get exposure to Coors Field. It's a hitter's ballpark, a lot of runs scored. But for me, I don't like being forced to play Coors Field. That may work against me or it may work for me. But tonight, I'm not stacking Coors Field. I just don't like to do it. So with that being said, the stack that I like tonight is the same one I liked last night. I like the Atlanta Braves because Vogelsong, the pitcher for the Pirates, he's pitching his first game tonight coming off the disabled list. He hasn't pitched since May 23rd. And I think he might be a little rusty. A couple of the Braves players got some good history against him. And I think they can get some runs tonight and it could be a sneaky stack. What got me thinking this way, earlier today on the early slate, Zimmerman for the Detroit Tigers, he made his first start after coming off an injury for a long time. And he was pretty rusty today. The Chicago White Sox scored about 6 runs on him in the first 2 or 3 innings. So that led me to believe that a lot of times when pitchers coming back to start in a major league game after a long layoff, a lot of times they have some rust. And, the hitters for the opposing team can really jump on them. So as I go through my lineup, I'm going to tell y'all about my Braves stack. But to start off at the catcher position, who I like for tournament plays tonight, Brian McCann all day. $2,500, great price. Lefty versus righty matchup. He's going against an old man in Bartolo Colon. Yankee Stadium is favorable for left-handed power. At 2,500, Brian McCann is my favorite catcher tonight for tournaments and GPPs. If you don't want to use Brian McCann, other possible plays, I think Jonathan Lucroy is a great play. He has a good history versus the pitcher that he's going up against tonight. Let me look it up. I'm not sure the sample size, but he's batting .364 with one career home run against, what's the pitcher? Wade Miley, making his first start for the Baltimore Orioles tonight. Of course, you can always look at Yasmani Grandal, the Coors Field exposure, the catcher for the Dodgers. He's definitely a player in play. Walters for Colorado Rockies, Coors Field exposure. But other than that, at the catcher position, I really don't see any other appealing options. So for me, considering the price, the stadium, and the matchup, Brian McCann is my favorite catcher for tonight for tournaments and GPPs. Moving on to the next position, first base. First base, this is going to be the first part of my Brave stat for tonight. I'm going with my man Freddie Freeman. Lefty versus righty matchup against Vogelsong. Let me tell you his history. I'm not sure the sample size, I'm sorry, but he's batting .412 with 2 career home runs. I love Freddie Freeman tonight. He's a streaky player. He tends to play better at home. He probably won't be heavily owned because you have a lot of other options available on the board. But for the first player in my Brave stack at first base, favorite tournament play for tonight, Freddie Freeman. Other options you could consider, of course, Adrian Gonzalez, Coors Field exposure, Edwin Encarnacion, hitting at a good ballpark in Minute Maid Park. I guess you can consider David Ortiz, but I'm not messing with him after how he burnt me last night. Chris Davis, if you want to play risky, he's a horrible hitter as far as hitting for average, but he has a lot of power. Reynolds for Colorado Rockies, Coors Field effect. Pujols, he got a walk-off home run last night. And let's see, a sneaky play I think would be Yadier Alonso for the Oakland Athletics. I looked up his history against the pitcher. I believe it's 8 at-bats. He's batting .375 with 1 career home run. But other than that, I don't see any other appealing options to me. In my opinion, at first base. So for me, how my lineup is, I'm going to have Freddie Freeman at first base. Also, one part of my Atlanta Braves stack. Moving on to the next position, at second base, favorite tournament play GPP option for tonight, I'm going with Dustin Pedroia for the Boston Red Sox. Righty versus lefty matchup. This guy who's pitching for Seattle, I think his name is Miranda. This is his first career major league start, going up against a potent offense in the Boston Red Sox. Pedroia, he had the day off yesterday, so his legs may be fresh. He had a mental, he got a chance to have a mental break, and I think today he can, come out here and have a good game. He's a known former All-Star, good player. I think he's in a good spot. If you don't want to use Pedroia, other options, let's see. Always consider the Coors Fields players, Howie Kendrick, Altuve at home, lefty versus righty matchup against J.A. Happ. Also Chase Utley. You got to consider him playing at Coors Field. I wouldn't mess with Robinson Cano tonight in a lefty-lefty matchup. I could be wrong. Jace Peterson for the Atlanta Braves, lefty versus righty matchup, and he's also leading off, which is pretty appealing, but his price tag, $3,400, I think that's just kind of high for Peterson because he really don't have a lot of home run upside. I think Neil Walker is also could be a good play tonight. With Nathan Eovaldi pitching for the Yankees, that means Neil Walker, who's a switch hitter, will be batting from the left side of the plate, which is his power side. At that stadium, Neil Walker could be a great play. Could be a great play. I might actually put him in my lineup instead of Pedroia. I'm gonna look at it after this video. Also, I think Castro, because I really just don't believe in Bartolo Colon. He's just too old. He should be retired. So Castro, if you're thinking about doing a Yankee stack, and other than that, don't really see any second baseman. That's all I see at second base as far as who you could play tonight. And again, right now I have Dustin Pedroia, but I'm thinking about switching it to Neil Walker. Okay, moving on. Third base position is going to be the second part of my Atlanta Braves stack. I'm going with Adonis Garcia again. His career history against Vogelsong is only one at bat, and he's 1-for-1 with a home run. His price is $2,600, which is definitely manageable to fit in your lineup. I'm not going to say he's the best third baseman on the slate tonight, but for my stack, he fits in perfectly. If you're not really feeling Garcia, I will say again, definitely consider the Coors Fields players, which is Nolan Arenado or Justin Turner. I think Adrian Beltre could be a very, very good play. Lefty versus righty matchup. He's facing Wade Miley of the Baltimore Orioles. And possibly Alvarez for the Baltimore Orioles. He does have power. He just really doesn't hit for good average. And, being that the game is at Yankee Stadium, if you feeling that New York Yankees stack against Bartolo Colon, you could put Chase Headley in there. But I believe he's only 1-for-7 career against Bartolo Colon. And that's, I'm sorry, and Donaldson, playing at Minute Maid Park, he always have the home run upside. So that's my view on the third base position. But for the purposes of my stack, I'm going to go with Adonis Garcia again, and hopefully that works out for me. Moving on to the shortstop position, favorite tournament play for right now, I'm picking on Bartolo Colon again. I like Didi Gregorius. A left-handed bat at Yankee Stadium is always something you can consider because of the ballpark. His price being $2,900, which is pretty decent. I really like Gregorius at shortstop position. With Trevor Story being out for the season, that takes away a lot of power from the shortstop position in which we normally see. But if your salary allows it and you can fit in your lineup, other good options, for the shortstop position, Corey Seager. He's playing at Coors Field, lefty versus righty matchup, price tag of $4,300. Xander Bogaerts could also be good, lefty versus righty matchup, playing against an inexperienced pitcher. The ballpark is kind of tough. Carlos Correa of the Houston Astros, he's also in the lefty versus righty matchup in a good ballpark in Minute Maid Park. And, anybody playing at Coors Field on either side, the Rockies or Dodgers, definitely consider them. But other than that, that's about all I see, at the shortstop position. I think if you feel in the Braves stack, you can also consider Eric Aybar again, because he's batting second tonight. He had a good game last night. Switch hitter against Vogelsong. He could be a good play in the stack, but I'm not using him in my Braves stack. And those are my thoughts on the shortstop position. Moving on, I'm going to keep it moving. The outfield position. These are the last two parts of my Braves stack, along with Freddie Freeman and Adonis Garcia. I like Matt Kemp tonight for $3,500. Let's see. His career history against Vogelsong is he's batting .308 with one career home run. Not sure what the sample size is. I believe it's maybe somewhere between 10 and 15 at bats. But, Matt Kemp, he's a player. I'm sure he's anxious to get his first home run in the Atlanta Braves uniform. And facing a pitcher who's coming off a long layoff and who he also has a good history against, I like Matt Kemp, tonight, in my Braves stack. Hopefully he hit one out the park tonight. And the fourth player in my Brave stack is going to be Nick Markakis. He's been playing pretty good the last couple of games. I believe he got a double last night, and the night before he hit a home run. Lefty versus righty matchup, and he's batting fifth in the order at a price tag which isn't too high, 2,900. So with Nick Markakis, that makes 4 Braves players that I have in my lineup, and their batting orders are Freddie Freeman batting third, Matt Kemp batting fourth, Nick Markakis batting fifth, and Adonis Garcia batting sixth. So that's my little Brave stack I got, combined with the Boston pitcher Drew Pomeranz. In the last outfield that I have, this really isn't based off any history, because I believe his history against Eovaldi is 1 for 7. But Jay Bruce for the New York Mets. Similar to the reasons why I picked Matt Kemp, he's on a new team. I'm sure he's anxious to get his first home run. And for left-handed hitters, Yankee Stadium is the top ballpark for home run hitting. And Nathan Eovaldi, as far as I know, he's a player who likes to throw that fastball. And Jay Bruce, he definitely has home run potential. If I look at his statistics, 25 home runs on the season. Since he got to New York, to the New York Mets, he really hasn't done anything. But hopefully, I feel like he's due for one. And he's a great player who at any given night could hit 2 home runs. So for 3,800, I'm just going to roll the dice and put him in there. Other players at the outfield position that you could possibly consider tonight, definitely Mookie Betts for 4,700. Lefty versus righty matchup against an inexperienced Seattle pitcher. Ian Desmond, he got 1 career home run against Wade Miley, but his batting average is like 188. I believe that's the sample size is 16 at bats. Definitely Coors Field exposure, both sides, Rockies and Dodgers. Blackman, Gonzalez, Jock Peterson, Josh Reddick. I mean, if you're into just stacking that Coors Field game, I can't blame you for doing it, because it won a lot of people some money last night. So definitely, anybody in the Coors Field game, look into that. I would say Nelson Cruz is in a good spot, lefty versus righty matchup, but the last few times I've been picking him, he's burnt me. So I'm kind of staying away from Nelson Cruz for tonight. And Adam Jones, he's 1 for 3 against the starting pitcher for the Texas Rangers. Griffin, he has 1 home run. So that's someone you could also consider. Jones, he's also leading off. So, he gets a lot of at-bats. He can possibly get some stolen bases. And he definitely has the speed to get extra base hits. So Adam Jones could be a great tournament play, a player who often goes overlooked. Brett Gardner, I might actually put him in my lineup going up against Cologne. I looked up his history. Gardner is 3 for 10, batting 300 with 1 career home run against Bartolo Colon. They're at home in Yankee Stadium. He's leading off, so he gets the at-bats. He has speed for stolen bases and extra base hits. So now that I look at it, I might go ahead and put Brett Gardner in there. And another outfield person that I like for tonight is Curtis Granderson. Make sure you listen to this. He's 5 for 10 against Eovaldi with 2 career home runs over the last 5 years in the regular season. A couple nights ago, he got a home run in Yankee Stadium. I think that's a ballpark that he likes to hit in, so definitely consider him. So that's about all I see for outfield. I'm still trying to get better at this baseball. I'm kind of torn in between whether I should play stacks or just play the best players that I feel are good for the night. Because I put one lineup out every night, maybe two. I know there are some players who can put out multiple lineups and try different things. But when you're putting out one lineup, your margin for error is very, very slim. So for right now, I got a little stack with the Braves. But I don't know if stacks are always necessary if you can just find the one off and just find those players who will get you the points needed to cash on any given night. So just a recap of my lineup at pitcher. I didn't really see many options. I'm going with Drew Pomeranz. I also think that J.A. Happ would be the next best option, followed behind Fears for the Houston Astros. That's all I've seen at pitcher. It's kind of weak tonight. And for my lineup, I'm basing it around the Brave stack. Freddie Freeman, Ardonis Garcia, Nick Markakis, and Matt Kemp. I filled it out with Brian McCann, who I feel is a lot for me at catcher tonight at 2,500. Like Dustin Pedroia. Also like Didi Gregorius because of the ballpark. And I have Jay Bruce in here for now. I definitely may make some adjustment because as I was going through the player pool, I saw some options that could be better. So that's about it. Hopefully I can score more than 71 points with my lineup tonight. I done hit like a little slump, the last 2 days. Prior to that, I was doing pretty good. But, I'm not going to keep the video long. Again, I want to thank everybody who's taking the time out to watch these videos. I know I got like 2 or 3 subscribers. I thank y'all for subscribing. I really do appreciate it. I'm just trying to share, my insight, my thoughts, my ideas, and just try to work at getting better at this daily fantasy, help others get better, and just, try to find a way to be more successful at this. Make sure that you look up the group on social media. Just search the hashtag #BeTheBestDFS on Facebook. You can search that on Twitter. Follow the Twitter handle at BeTheBestDFS. If you like this video, please subscribe. And again, I thank everybody who took the time out, to watch this video. If you have any comments, please just comment on the video, comment in the group, ask your questions. Just reach out to me because I really do enjoy playing daily fantasy, and I want to try to just take this to the next level. But again, thank you everyone. I'm gonna leave y'all with what I always leave y'all with. Try to be the best tonight. All right, I'm out.